Hi everyone, it's Dulles, Kiwi Scrapper from New Zealand, and I'm just here to tell you a funny story. And this is in conjunction with a challenge that Barbara Alexander is putting on at the moment, and she's just done put up a video to say that there's a 2-day extension, and so you need to get your video up by Tuesday. And her challenge is called Let's Have Some Fun Challenge. And all she wants you to do is either tell something funny that you did online, maybe while you're making a video, or if you haven't ever done anything funny online, like I probably haven't, to tell a funny story about something that you did that involved you. So I'm going to tell you a funny story that happened a long time ago. She did say to keep it clean, and I'm going to try and keep this as clean as I can. Okay, it happened actually when I was 29 years of age, and I had been through a divorce, and I had just been remarried to a new man, and he took me on a honeymoon, and it was a surprise honeymoon. We were actually living in the Middle East at the time, and I actually met him in the Middle East because I was living over there at that stage. And he came back, I think 3 days after we got married, and handed me a bouquet of flowers. And you know, I was like, oh, these are beautiful. And he said, oh, well, you know, have a look in the envelope. And I opened the envelope, and inside the envelope were tickets for a 5-day honeymoon in Athens, in Greece. Well, of course, I was over the moon. 29 years old, I was going to Greece. It was wonderful. So we go on our honeymoon. And the operative word here in the story being honeymoon. Yeah, so he'd booked us into a lovely hotel over there in Athens, and right in the heart of Athens city. And so we go up to our room the first night we're there. And first of all, there's 2 single beds, and they're separated by quite a wide gap. And he said to the man, I specifically told them when I booked in that this is my honeymoon with my new wife, and I wanted a double bed. I didn't want 2 single beds. You know, great apologies, and you know, they'd try and sort something out. So I think we had to spend our first honeymoon night in this in the hotel in 2 single beds. But the following day they came and they said, you know, we found you another room, it's got a double bed, blah blah blah. So we went into it. So we'd gone out for the morning, and we've been strolling around Athens looking at everything, and we came back, and in the afternoon, you know, bearing in mind that we'd only been married about 4 days by the stage, you know, it was a hot day. We didn't want to go out any further anymore, and so we did what most honeymooners would do. And so we're laying there and, you know, just dozing off, and suddenly I become aware, as I'm sort of going into a sort of doze land, I suddenly become aware that I can hear male voices, and I'm like trying to wake up and decide whether I'm still asleep and it's a dream, or you know, what's going on. But then I hear the door to our room opening, and I'm like wide awake, and I can hear these male voices as they come into our room. Now I nudged my new husband really violently in the ribs. The poor man like shoots up, and I'm hissing at him really loudly, there's 2 men in our room, because by now I can hear 2 voices talking, 2 male voices. And he leaps out of bed because he hears them as well, forgetting that he's got no clothes on, realising that he's got no clothes on as the 2 men come into view, one carrying a suitcase, snatches the sheet that was covering us from the bed to cover himself, and in the meantime, in doing that, actually exposes me to the full gaze of these 2 guys. I'm frantically scrabbling and trying to get the sheet back to cover myself up, and I don't know who was the more astonished, there was me, I'm absolutely horrified, bright red, clutching the sheet around my neck, whilst my husband is trying to get a little corner of the sheet to cover him up, and he's like, what are you doing in here? And it's a hotel employee, because he's dressed in uniform, and obviously a newly arrived hotel guest, because, you know, there's a suitcase and he's dressed in a smart suit. And he's like staring in astonishment at us, and the hotel employee is staring in horror at us. And my husband bellows at them, you know, would you get out of our room? And the employee says, but this isn't your room. And my husband tries to explain as best he can in his anger and his embarrassment for me that this is our new room that we were given it that morning. And there's this whole hurried apologies as the man scoots this poor newly arrived guest in his suitcase out of the room. I mean, almost herding him out like a sheepdog herding cattle. And it was just, afterwards we just sort of sat there and we just went into hysterical laughter. Once I got over the shock, we just went into hysterical laughter. So that is my funny story, and I've tried to keep it as clean as possible as one could with a story like that. But anyway, so, you know, you've got a couple more days extension until Tuesday. So, you know, if you've got a funny story to tell, either something you've done online or something on a video or something that's happened in your life, like I've just told you, then, you know, join in the fun challenge, the Let's Have Some Fun challenge run by Barbara Alexandra. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.